Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I thought we were going without Miss Lori this morning.
Under the wire.
Wire.
Technology problems.
Okay. And so here we are. It is Wednesday, February 14th. Is there something special happening on February 14th?
I don't know. Do you think? Do you think my sweater?
Very nice.
A
Very
little
nice.
hint?
So hopefully it is a day when you get
Happy
to
Valentine's Day.
hug your significant other and spend time giving chocolates, giving cards, giving hugs, going out to dinner. I guess every restaurant will be nice. What are your plans, Miss Lori?
We are going to go to the yacht club for dinner tonight. Of course, we
Okay, that's not going to work, Lori.
Patrick. So it'll be a three-way Valentine.
Lori, it's not working.
No working.
I know. I told you I was. Hold on. I'm going to switch to my phone.
Jump up. Got it.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, you're off to a wonderful start this morning. Here we go.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So, like I said, it's Valentine's Day. Shay, what are you doing tonight?
Dinner. That's it.
Are you going to give a little bit more detail, or you going to dinner by yourself, or you know?
Just me, myself, and I.
No, I said. Oh, sorry. I thought you guys heard me. I'm going with my two favorite guys, Patrick and Samantha, and Mike.
Very nice. Very nice. Your internet is still off.
Am I still out?
Yeah. So it's it ain't no good, dearie. Sorry. All right. So we will move on. Technical difficulties for her. Kim Sarney left her keys, so she won't be on. But I think we'll get a special guest this morning. Jake Nudelberg will jump in a second. So for those of you who are looking for a place to go for Valentine's Day, if the restaurants are all filled, if there's no place to go, Chipotle is letting you know that it's burrito season. Shay, show me. They are hiring 19,000 people who are, it is just crazy that there is such a thing called burrito season. So football season is over. Burrito season is here. Hey, Shay, bring on Jake Nudelberg, will you?
I really do. Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jake Nudelberg, Director of Success. I feel like I was like backstage at like Jimmy Fallon and they just like brought me out or something.
Well, so we went right up to the line when we were going live. Lori tried to make it. There is,
I don't know. So Mark says she looks good to them. So I don't know, but I'm happy to carry the torch.
Oh, there was no, I don't know. There was no.
We're going full backstage at Fallon.
Oh, look at this. Hold on.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, is he wearing Valentine's pajamas?
Hi, Jules.
What the hell's going on out here?
And he got a balloon. We got balloons. We got paint pens. We're fired up this morning.
So this shows you that as much as you try and control shit,
this is a real huddle, though, right? It's not like
it's real good.
You never know who's going to be in it. So
listen.
Jake, any plans for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, going out for dinner.
Nice.
Oh, going out for dinner, huh, Jake?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so happy I hopped on this morning. It's so great to see you guys.
Didn't know we were going to be having this conversation.
There's nowhere to hide, Jake.
Oh man, this is great. All right, well, this is fun, but no, I'm just kidding.
We have totally lost control. This is like, Jules, what do you say? Jules, Jules, can you
Jules
take
says he
home?
misses mommy on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Gabby's in Dallas, so we're celebrating Valentine's Day, just the two of us.
Very
Nice.
cool. You guys have awesome. Thanks for jumping in.
You got it. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Jake, for jumping in. It looks like we're stable, I think. Are we
I
stable?
think I switched to the phone. So
Okay. All right, here we go. Shay, wake this thing up and let's do a do-over.
Okay.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. We got, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe this and this what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Come on.
All right. Lots of hearts in the comments. Good morning, Kitty. Good morning, Lori Kutniski. All the ladies of the huddle. Good morning. As we do every day now, and I have gotten tremendous response to this. We do a daily affirmation. I've been doing it for most of my career. Frames my brain, takes me out of whatever clutter and garbage is going in. I put something in. So, Lori, do us the honors on Valentine's Day.
yes, I love this one today. I approach life with a growth mindset, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. I embrace setbacks as stepping stones towards success. With each experience, I expand my knowledge and resilience, knowing that progress is a journey, not a destination.
Awesome. Like,
Love that.
just think about if you carried that with you on an index card, and every time you look down at your phone or you put it on the cover of your phone and boom, you just looked at that, you're feeding yourself with such positive energy and such positive influence. It just really does make a difference. We would normally go to Kim this morning. We are not going to Kim. We are calling audibles all over the place. So I'm going to go to motivational music, and then I've got two segments. One, Lori, that you sent me about how CEOs lead, which I love, is fantastic. So let's do motivational music, and then we're going to go, do you believe in the laws of attraction?
Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow flow straight to my lover's heart for me. Cupid, please hear my cry and let your arrow fly straight to my lover's heart for me. Now I don't want to bother you, but I'm in distress. There's danger of me losing all my happiness. See, I love a man who doesn't know I exist, and this you can't fix. So Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow flow straight to my lover's heart for me.
Woohoo!
I feel like I should be on an island or in Jamaica. She's got that vibe. I love that.
So her name is Stella, which is just a great name, Kwarsama. And I do research on all this stuff. Sam Cooke did the original. There's so many people who have done the cover that to me was just a unique take on the song and the whole. I think it's the ukulele in the back that makes you feel like it's Hawaii, which is kind of nice and kind of tropical, if you will. So, we come to this day, Valentine's Day, and I'm going to post about this today. Valentine's Day is supposed to be about love, and love for other people. But love goes beyond. I think love is about everything. I think love is about what you do for a living. I think, love is, embracing who you are. So, on this day of love, the laws of attraction Do you really believe that you have the power to attract that person in your life, that job, that money, that success? Do you have? So I asked you that question first, and I want to hear your answer, and then we're going to hear Gary Breckus give us some real data on it.
So yes, I do believe you can attract those things to your life. I think it has so much to do with mindset, the words you talk to yourself, the words you put out into the universe. I absolutely believe that in the laws of attraction.
So I'm glad, because I do as well. When the movie and the book came out, The Secret, everyone's like, that's hokey, that
Mm.
the curing cancer, and well, you can guarantee if you don't think you're going to get cured, you're not. So you might as well try and think that. There was one author in that. There was a lot of great authors, but one author in there, a guy named Mike Dooley. Mike Dooley has actually sends me. It's called the universe, and the universe sends me a message every day. I get an email. I filled out a questionnaire years ago: who I was, what I do, what I was thinking of, what would be success in my life, and it constantly speaks to me. So I totally believe it. But his concept was thoughts become things. Now give me Gary Brecka.
Many of you believe in the universal law of attraction, because if you don't, you're about to. Because I never believed in any of that spiritual mumbo jumbo until one day I found a law in the physical universe. It's called constructive interference. And it says that when two wavelengths of equal length meet, the size of the frequency doubles. But what this means is that you can get energy from conversation. You can get energy from the people around you, or they can take energy away from you. And so I started to go down this spiritual rabbit hole, and I found a research project called the Spain Scale of Emotion, SPANE. Researchers were able to take 25,000 subjects and put them in a room, and they were able to measure the frequency leaving the human body. And do you know what the most powerful frequency to leave the human body is? Frequency of authenticity. Authenticity is 4,000 times more powerful than love. Do you know when authenticity happens? Authenticity happens when your words are truthful and you believe what you're saying.
Love it.
Right. So speak to me about authenticity. Most people have to learn how to be authentic. It doesn't come naturally. They try to be something that they're not. They wear the mask, if you will, and then take the mask off. So what's, the power of authenticity is 4,000 times more powerful than love. Wow.
Yeah, this was like a shot in the head for me when we did as a team the predictive index indicators with our team. And it was really interesting because it measures who you are authentically, really, when you're not in the business setting, but then who are you in the business setting? I am exactly the same, which is not surprising, right, to most people. But there were many on our team who were this person privately, introverted, right? Didn't, just different characteristics. But when they came to work, they thought they had to be this. So their testing shows that in the work setting, they're this. Really interesting. So it doesn't mean they're not authentic. I think that one thing shows that they understand that they need to apply different things to work versus home. And
Well,
that is authentic.
this will take us to the next topic. But we'll stay here for a second. If you don't feel like you can be your genuine, authentic self at work, that has a lot to do with culture and leadership. I think
Yes and
leaders
no.
don't allow for that because they're trying to make you something that you're not, or you feel, so that unsafeness is generally why. And you sent me something the other day about the quit rate in Florida is really high because you have leaders that are not actually
I
seeing.
think that's sometimes true, but I also think that sometimes there are things in our position that may not come naturally to us, right? It may not be authentically what we love or what we do naturally. But in a job, there are going to be those things. So we kind of have to fit the mold. So I don't always think it has to do with leadership. I do think sometimes though.
It's also interesting what he said about energy is that you put the people in the room and you can tell when energy hits more energy. You meet people and you're instantly inspired and engaged and into it, and vice versa. And we call them energy vampires. They just suck the blood right out of you. And you just know the minute you meet them, man, you lose a pint of blood. And it's like, oh my God, and those people live in and around our lives. They're
Yeah.
very difficult to get rid of.
Yeah.
Most people are afraid of that confrontation to say, hey, you just bring me down, man. I'm just not good around you. I'm not, that happens in a lot of relationships, even in marriages. When you listen, and I became acutely aware of this recently, the way people talk about their spouses or significant others when they're not around. You hear people say like the meanest, they say this nasty shit. Like,
well, hopefully on Valentine's Day today, they're saying nice things.
Exactly right. So anyway, hopefully everybody understands the power of attractions. Thoughts become things, which is why we start with the day with affirmations. We are affirming who we are so that our authentic selves come out. So moving on, I love the fact that you're engaged in the content development with us. You've been sending us lots of articles. You get a lot of different publications than I get. So, the mix and share. A recent article was the ways that CEOs actually lead. So Harvard Business Review, which, Shay, we got to check into that. I used to get that. I don't know how that fell off, but I don't get it. Anyway.
I'll check it out.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
Yeah, this talked about the 5
Yeah.
different ways that CEOs or executives lead. Do you have the notes in front of you, or it was a blind?
You actually didn't have that in the notes, but I opened it up while we were watching the video.
Because I added it when Kim's segment was out. So here's what they are, and then I want you to comment on it. So there's 5 ways that CEOs lead. One is the strategy approach. One is the human asset approach. One is the expertise approach, the box approach, and the change approach. Now, in my studies, I wrote one word that sort of equals this to discuss. But what does strategy approach mean to you?
Strategy is someone, and I would put myself in 2 of these categories, which would be the strategy and the change approach. So strategy to me means that you are always looking ahead, right? What's the vision? Where are you going? What's the strategy to get there? And that is your core or one of your most important focuses for the that you're focusing on as a leader for the organization.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of leaders, CEOs get confused with mission and values with strategy. They're 2 completely different things. Mission, is something you sort of set and here's what we want to do. But strategy is a fluid thing. It's almost like a human thing. Number 2, which is really, really cool. And I'm glad you said this. You could be all 5.
Right.
You don't have to only lead one. The second one was the human asset approach. So tell me about that.
So that one, of course, is to create the values, the behaviors, focusing on performance reviews, recruiting, all of those things, focusing on the people of the organization.
I believe that the people are the number one asset, and, hiring and retaining talent is a real thing. And if the CEO at the C level, they're not engaged. And I had a conversation with the CEO yesterday who we talked through, as the organization grows, how do you empower your people to then go hire the right people? Because the way you would hire is not the way so if it's so important on people, and I really was hoping to ask you this question is, how do you allow people enough space to feel like they're in the game, but you bring your wisdom to it and say, I've seen that act before. This is not the right person. So
we just had this conversation on Monday at our leadership team meeting, which is director level and up. And so we were talking about that. I'm always the last interview. What I'm really looking for is, are they a culture fit, right? Do they have the behaviors, the beliefs that we want? Everybody else can ask about the technical questions. There have been a couple of situations where there wasn't a red flag, but I didn't know that I thought this person was the exact right fit. And I gave that feedback to the team. But I tell my directors, you are the CEOs of your companies.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to let them, if there's no red flag, I will give them my feedback and say the decision is yours. There have been a couple of those where they've had to come back and say, you were right about that thing. And they have to then fix it. That's the only way they can learn to make better choices.
Interesting. Yeah. The feedback I gave to this other CEO was different than that. I was like, say, I'm excited that this is your decision, but I need you to trust me and my experience. So emphasizing the fact that I want you to learn from me on this particular case. I see something you don't. I don't want to go into another 90-day tailspin, bringing the person in, then they leave. And,
Right.
so I think it's one of the more difficult things about leadership is how do you allow your other people to lead? So,
Well, and like I said, if there's a red flag, then I'm not going to let them go through with it. But if it's a possibility that the person could work out, but from my experience, they may not be exactly the right fit, I share that. But you have to sometimes let them make the hiring mistakes.
I agree.
And by the way, we had to let someone go recently who's the greatest person, but just the wrong fit.
Yeah.
And that's what brought up the conversation. They were like, how do we do that? And we're like, you know what? It is hard and it's emotional, but you have to do what's best for your team and for the organization at the end of the day.
So this next one is a little tricky. It's the expertise approach. What does that mean to you? And then I'll tell you what it means to me.
I think this one focuses more on programs, systems, processes, more of an operational approach, making sure the organization has the expertise it needs, policies, training. So that I see it more operational.
So for me, the expertise piece becomes your competitive advantage, your IP. Like there's a shitload of coaches out there. Mark and I do a good job of assessing how other people are doing it. And I went down the road with somebody and it was the same trap. Mark did it and they all wind up in the same place. And in Mark's opinion, they were all bad. Our competitive advantage is we do it differently. That doesn't mean that it's the right fit for everybody. We just do it differently. We offer the program in a different way.
Well,
so that becomes your IP. Oh yeah, those guys do it different.
Well, you do it differently, but I also think it speaks to the expertise part, right? You have built companies. You have had companies that didn't go well. You have companies that did go well. I think a lot of coaches, to use the coaching thing, are coming into this field, have never done the work. So they go take a coaching course and maybe you could coach me, but you haven't done it. So you don't have that expertise.
I love that. That's a really good way to break that down. So we're going to run out of time here. So the last two are box approach and change approach. Box approach is more controls and stuff like that. Right. I want you to talk specifically about change because, at the last board meeting, we looked back at where the organization was 8 years ago or 5 years ago, and it's been radically different, radical change and continued change. So if change is your style, which it is, how do you continually reinvent yourself?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have to take risks, at strategic risks. I don't mean that you just go off and go crazy, right? You study something, you bring the idea, you break it down, you get input from the external stakeholders, you get input from internal. But at some point, you have to be willing to take the risk. I mean, look, whether it's personal or business, when I went through my divorce, guess what? I had to reinvent myself. I've been out of finance for 12 years. I had to take risks. I had to go try something new that didn't feel as comfortable. And is there a chance of failure? Is there a chance that your financials might go down a little before it goes back up? You have to take those chances in business or you'll never get ahead and you'll never grow, in my opinion.
Awesome. Thank you for being here today. As always, tomorrow you get Mark and Jake. And then do not miss Huddle in the Hot Seat. You'll speak to a CEO that Mark's been working with for a while, who is all about reinvention, all about how to train his people. Greg is an awesome guy. So great stuff. Enjoy tonight with your significant other. Everybody here, me and Helen will be dining and reveling in our happiness. So just all great stuff. Make it a great day. Shay, let's get down to business.
Happy Valentine's.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business.